All right, it's time for a fall slash end of summer landscape update. Kind of go over the plants before the first freeze comes in and wipes us out, and we no longer have plants to show. So we did really a lot of hard work this summer, early spring, and into fall to make a wonderful garden throughout the property. So I'll walk you around and show you the property a little bit and some of the plants that we put in the ground. So here we go, walk with me. So we will start off here, our little 29-cent goldfish. Love these little guys that are in here. I don't know if you can see them too well, but they are in there. They're probably about 5-6 inches long. Put them in here, and this actually used to be an old feeding trough. You can actually see the ring that was probably used to tie horses to. So it's turned into a outdoor goldfish pond. So some of the flowers we put in around here to attract the butterflies and other pollinators. This is a butterfly bush here, little palm tree here that needs to come inside pretty soon. And we'll go over to the back of the house here. A bunch of mums everywhere, just getting ready to show off. Some of these are actually past peak, the ones that have been sun exposed, but boy, these purple ones, they look great. Some more flowers here. The cone flowers are past their peak. They've actually kind of gone brown, might need to be deadheaded. I don't think they'll do anything more the rest of the year though. And of course, the old barn. Our fall decorations, pumpkin season, that's all new. The pumpkins, these junipers that we put in buckets, we just put these in about 2 weeks ago, and they're holding steady, looking great. Of course, we'll walk over to the top of the vineyard here, past this old mulberry tree. Multiple grasses, some of these cypress trees or cypress bushes that are in the ground. More junipers. These right here were just 3 of the petunia trees or bushes, flowers, spread that far. There's a couple of the coleus. They got really big, starting to go a little bit past their peak, losing some of their leaves, getting leggy, but they still look pretty good. More of the petunias. Again, this was just 3. 1, 2, 3 petunias, and they spread that much. And then of course over here, there's a fig bush, or a fig tree. It actually pushed out some figs. Let's see a few of them in here. They're not huge, but they're about quarter size. So pretty cool. All right. Some more of these sweet potato vines over here. These really took over. I think there might have been 5 that we put in the ground. They've just spread to cover, I don't know, about a good 6x10 section at least. Then we have more of the petunias. Another nice maple tree. We put this guy in just last year. He's already seen a little burst of growth. There's more of the sweet potato vines, both the red and the yellow. All right, so back to the garden here, or the flower bed in front of the vineyard. All kinds of plants, flowers, looking great. A couple of chairs just inviting me to have a seat. A little well house that we built last year. More seats just inviting you in. Great place to have coffee in the morning. And then of course the barn. Have all sorts of wonderful plants over here. This is all new plantings as well. Put a little grapevine here by himself. I think that's a Niagara. Green giant, arborvitae, a bunch of mums. These begonias, we grew these from seed. And of course there's more of these cypress bushes. These yellow guys here throughout. But the mums are just going crazy with color. Loving these. They were all transplants. A celosia, these are doing really well. These were put in as babies. I think they were the 6, in a tray of 6 each. So 6 reds and 6 yellows. That's what we got. And then of course this little guy here, forget what he's called, so I left the tag on him. He was from Sundown Gardens, okay? He's a North Star pine. All right, supposed to stay small. All right, so more of the celosia here, more mums. Another maple tree. I guess we like maple trees here. More petunias. Again, this is 3 petunia plants. Did all this. I believe that's phlox on the side of the hill. And more ground cover sweet potato vines. I think we like these here. They spread really well, help keep the ground in place, or hide the mulch or the lack thereof. Sunflowers. This is a flamethrower redbud. He's not looking like a flamethrower yet, but he will next year. Some of the cone flowers here have kept a little color, but not a lot. These are just a couple of cone flowers we purchased from Costco and threw them in the garden. Turned out great. All lavenders up this row. And more of the phlox. And a mix of mums, some red fountain grasses. A couple more cone flowers in here. And then of course we rescue some of these plants. I think this guy was discount section at a local big box store, and a few more of those around in the property, and they usually fill in well. A couple little planter boxes all around. These look good and healthy. A few more around here. I'll walk around. There's a couple more over here too. Little juniper on the corner. Healthy. Looks like he might have a little bit of new growth on him. Of course, here's the off the deck from another angle. Now you can see a little bit of the red on the end of the flamethrower redbud. Some of the red leaf right here on the end. So it should just gradually get more and more red as it gets towards the termination of the branch. So he just went in 2 months ago, so maybe 3. Want to make sure he has a chance to establish. And these little boxes over here is what I wanted to show you as well. Flowers might be just starting to get at peak or a little past peak, but some celosias, fountain grass, some mums. There was a cabbage in there, one of those cabbage decorative ones. Caterpillar said, no, not here. Some flowers. And a couple more. All right. Now we'll head on over to what we call Dirt Hill. We got a few things over there to show you. All right, so welcome to Dirt Hill. Dirt Hill doesn't have quite the colors it had even a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. But some fresh green giants that we purchased from the nursery in the last year or so. Little mums, these were the dollar-sized mums we put in last year. They all regrew. So those are either at peak, or these guys are definitely at peak. Have a few here that might be a little past peak, but they look great. The fountain grasses, these die back every year here in the Midwest. Not a perennial, so they're an annual. But boy, did they get big and beautiful before they take a first freeze. More of the mums. And these cone flowers were huge. They were beautiful. Now they're gone. More of the green giants around. mums, red, red fountain grass, cypress. This is a white pine that we rescued from one of the big box stores before the year closed out last year. Saw him a few times in the store. I think we walked by him about 2 or 3 times on different visits, and eventually decided to come home with us. And he's probably doubled in size in the last year since he's been in the ground. All right, so we'll walk back on Dirt Hill here. So a little bit of the color, not quite what it was a couple weeks ago, but still pretty darn nice. These green giants are going to grow in, give us a nice little privacy curtain. These red fountain grasses here look great as well. Didn't get as big as the others. It's a little bit shaded right here. Might be a problem for some of these green giants, but so far they're doing great. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the updates. I hope you appreciate the updates, and if you like our videos, please follow us, like and subscribe. Thank you so much.